Oh, so you do want me to facilitate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Can you put it in chat again too?
Okay, let me get my timer going. Here's my timer. 3 minutes, we said, right? Would anyone here like to ask a question about the process, or were the instructions pretty clear?
Just put
Any questions?
at the topic.
The topic is in the chat, so I'm gonna read it again. What are your ideas and projects for building the empathy movement? 3 minute turns. I'm gonna be your first listener and kind of model it a little bit, even though we have a number of very experienced people here. And who would like to be the first speaker? Any volunteers for speaking?
Go ahead.
Josh, thank you so much. So I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes, and then it's on my phone. I'm going to kind of wave it a little, and you might also hear the sound. Go ahead.
So I have, just to clarify, I have 3 minutes and you want me to speak on how
Yes.
we can grow the empathy movement, do I
But
understand correctly?
yes, but within these 3 minutes, you're going to speak in short chunks, and I'm going to reflect back to you. But between you being the speaker and me being the active listener, the term is
Okay,
going to be 3 minutes.
all right. Um, so the first thing that came to mind, and by the way, I want to thank the leaders for putting this together. It's really been excellent. Um, the first thing that came to my mind is that, empathy connect an empathic connection um, doesn't happen all at once. It's not like you just turn it on, like you flick the light switch and everything goes on. It's more like there's a dimmer switch. There's more like you are uh, the water's a little cold, like it is in Lake Michigan right now, where I live, and you start to wade out, and as you go a little further, it takes a while for your body to warm up to it. And I think that as if we want to build empathy with, let's say, strangers, in this case, we don't know each other. I don't know anybody. Um, I have a sense of, okay, I want to proceed gradually and make sure that it's safe. So I'm testing the waters.
Okay, well, what I hear you say is that, first of all, you wanted to express your gratitude to those who put this summit together. And then you were sharing an insight how empathy can be something that happens gradually. And that is also important for you because you're new here and you just kind of want to feel it out and get used to the process as you feel more safe and comfortable.
Well, so I think you did a good job, but you missed a point, which is that I feel, not just for me, I feel that in general, I'm extending this not just to myself, but my sense of uh, of what it takes to create empathy is that it requires testing the waters, making sure that it's safe before going further. And and I come to that because, yes, my own experience, but also because my sense of empathy um, has to do with realizing that if I feel something, then it's likely to be in common with other people. So that's how I arrived at that.
Mm. So you also wanted to be heard that this gradual experience of empathy and gradual growth doesn't apply just to you personally, but you see that happening uh, on a bigger scale. And you think that what you experience is something that others experience as well, that there is this testing the water and having to go slowly in the rhythm how we feel safe.
Yes, I
When the
think that's
time is
correct.
up, you feel heard. You feel
Do I
heard.
feel heard?
Yeah,
Yes, I feel heard. Thank you.
wonderful. So the way how this goes is the listener, which was me, becomes the speaker and selects a listener. And I'm gonna ask you, Jessie. It's so good to see you, Jessie.
Nice to see you.
Will you be my listener?
Sure.
I think the summits are pretty amazing in bringing so many new people. And while I don't have much capacity to actively work in it, I really want to make sure that I bring more people, that I'm more active in promoting it.
You think the summit is a really good opportunity to bring new people, and you also want to be more actively involved into the empathy circle movement, empathy movement to bring new people. So it looks like the summit encourage you to bring more new people.
Yeah, so I see that there are in all the promotions, I see two different strategies. One is to really connect with people personally and almost hold their hand and ask them again and again to come.
So you see two strategies to connect and bring people in. One is to really personally connect, hold them hand by hand to bring them in.
Yeah, and I've experienced with a few people that I had to invite them, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 times until they finally came. And then they were so happy to be there.
So you had experience with several people now that you have to invite them 7, 8 times, and eventually they come and you're happy with the result.
Yeah. And then there's the other approach to just send something out to everyone you know, and to everyone I know, send something out to everyone on my email list, post it on my social media. And that is the one I neglect a little. I don't feel as comfortable with.
The other one is to take all the opportunity you have in social media, in personal contact, just send as much invitation as you can to everybody you can reach. So have more exposure for more people to hear about it, to learn about it, and eventually will reach somebody who is interested to come.
Yeah, but I notice in myself, I feel uncomfortable with those blanket emails. For me, that being personal with people is so important, and it's so hard for me to send out something that goes at the same time to friends, and then to really close friends, then to not so close friends, then to acquaintances, and then to people I may not even know. It's hard for me to do that.
So you personally didn't feel comfortable about the blank email to people you don't even know through friends and friends. And you're more comfortable with the circle you know people, you understand people.
Yeah, so my time is up. Thank you. I feel heard, Jessie. And so it's your turn to pick a listener.
Great. Somehow my screen didn't show all the people.
You don't see the other people?
Yeah, maybe I need to change screen.
Yeah, if you go on view and then you click on gallery,
Okay,
then
now
you
I
see
see it.
everybody.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. How about Felicia?
Okay, gonna start the timer.
Okay. Yeah.
Great. I have been practice empathy circle about 1 year now, and I'm really happy to be back in this summit.
So you've been practicing the empathy circles for about a year, and you're really happy to be back here at the summit.
I've been asking myself the same question, what is the empathy movement? And every time I practice, I go into the empathy circle. I'm in Santa Barbara, we have a local chapter, which is a really great group of people that can practice.
So you ask yourself that same question that Ingrid was asking, you know, what is the empathy movement? How can you make, I'm assuming, how can you make the empathy movement happen? Because you go to a local chapter, which you really like in Santa Barbara, to practice empathy circles.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I first started, I didn't know anything about the empathy. I never looked up the definition about empathy. But each time I participate in empathy circle, I learned something new. So to today, I would say empathy movement to me is it need have a structured environment for people to open up their mind to get connected with each other mutually.
So, so you said that you started and you didn't really look up the definition of empathy at the beginning, but each empathy circle, you learn new things about the empathy movement. And now you're thinking you're landing on kind of it needs a structured environment for people to be able to open up their minds and to open up.
Yeah, feel safe and feel mutual access for speaking and listening. I outside of the circle, I tried the empathy practice with people, and it doesn't seem to work.
So you're to continue on that. You like it needs an environment where people feel safe, where they feel some sort of mutual connection, where they feel heard, but they also have opportunities to speak and to listen and to be listened to. And you're saying that when you're outside of the empathy circles, you're trying some of those moves, but they're not landing quite the same way.
Yes. Somehow, when the structure is not there, the mutuality was not there, and the opportunity to connect with each other is not the same. So my time is up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I feel heard.
Wait, I'll repeat what you said though. Okay. Without the structure, you're feeling like without that structure being there, the mutuality is not there, and the opportunities for connection is just not so easy to facilitate. It's not there as much either.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
I feel heard. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess it's my turn then. Okay, whatever.
Yes.
Oh, I have to pick somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Dana. How about Dana? Okay, thanks. So out of practice. Okay, so I guess for me, just to promote a global empathy movement, starts at home. I think the first thing I need to do is to reduce some of the suffering that I endure in my life and at my job.
To promote a global movement, you need to start at home and reduce the suffering at home.
Yeah, not at my house, but at work. Yeah,
at work.
Yeah, but that my home being my home sphere, I'm talking about. Yeah, and so and then I still like this idea of continuing. So I teach math. Maybe now I'm going to get a master's in linguistics. Whatever I do, I'm very centered around work. And I want to continue to bring the empathy circles into work. I do PDAs at my own job right now around empathy circles, how you can use them at work. So I think that's my role in the global empathy movement, is just to reduce my own suffering and to bring empathy circles into as many environments as I have influence over.
Need to bring empathy at work. You use math, and I'm sorry, I totally lost you.
Yeah, I just want to continue whatever I do for work, since work is a core part of my life. I want to reduce my own suffering, but also continue in as many ways as I can to bring empathy circles. Either I'm helping people to see how useful it is for them, they go to facilitator training, or I'm working with students and bringing empathy circles into whatever classes I teach. I think that's where I can help the global empathy movement, reduce my own suffering, bring it into the workplace.
Reduce your own suffering and bring it into the workplace.
Yeah. Okay. it's a little bit like yoga. Like I love yoga, it makes me feel good, but I never do it. So I became a yoga teacher. Same thing with empathy circles. I love them when I go there, but I never go there. And so then I became a facilitator. So at least I'm close to it now because now it's related to being to work. Yeah.
It's like yoga, you enjoy doing it, and you enjoy being a facilitator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Would you like me to add to the reflection, Felicia?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
No, it's okay because Dana's trying and I talk fast and I'm in a different realm than her in terms of whatever. But yeah, so no, it's fine. But thank you. Thank you for caring and thank you, Dana, for reflecting.
I pass, I'd rather not.
Thank you. Dana, you would like to not be a speaker?
I prefer not to.
Okay. Well, thanks for being a listener, Dana. I appreciate that you participated. Does somebody else
Yeah.
want to go and be a speaker next?
I will, since I haven't spoken, and I hear Dana didn't want to be a speaker, so I will just reflect that. And
Okay.
oh,
Yes,
and I will
you,
select
as your listener.
Josh to speak to. Okay, you're still muted.
Sorry, I had to turn on my.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so for building the empathy movement, I was sort of thinking of what you were talking about, that you and other people need to develop trust and sort of in empathy, it sounded like. But I think that people are going to need to develop trust in the empathy movement as well, so so you kind of your idea sort of sparked kind of the bigger picture that the empathy movement needs to work in such a way that the community, others develop trust in the movement. Yeah.
So I heard you say that you understood that I felt a need to develop trust, and it sparked your um, maybe your thinking that it connected with a sense of how the movement itself needs to progress.
Hmm. Yeah, and the movement needs to develop trust. And right now, I would say there's a lot of conservatives. There's all those books that were mentioned, or kind of coming from the conservative right, that they don't trust empathy. So it's like a big part of it, building the movement is how to develop trust with them around what empathy is.
I I I hear you, Edwin, reflecting the sort of current political media environment, particularly from authors who are, well, I'll just use your words, who don't trust empathy, who and um, so the question might be that you're asking is, well, how can those people be brought in? Did I get that
Hmm.
correct?
Yeah. How do we have them develop trust in the empathy movement? Because right now they're not trusting it. And I think
Yeah.
one way is that we actually go to where they are, to go to their conferences with our empathy tent. And we just sit there and we say, hey, we're willing to listen to you. Come and talk to us. We will listen to you. And we've done it in the past. And I think that's what we'll need to do in the future, to go out to communities that don't trust the movement, to build trust by listening to them.
So your sense of how to approach this uh, question of creating empathy with those who are not trusting in it would be to go to where they are, their conferences, to put up an empathy tent and offer to listen. And in the past, um, you've been able to do so, and you feel in the future this is a good way to reach out to communities who don't trust the empathy
Mhm.
movement.
So the way to
Edwin, your
oh,
time was up.
okay, I feel heard. Thank you.
Oh, I
Josh?
guess My
Pick a
turn then.
listener. Yeah, if you want to pick a
Um,
listener.
Well, you listened to me the last time, so maybe I will go with Jesse. Do you want to listen to me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, great. Um, so I want to talk about a little bit about my own experience with empathy work. And I'll just sort of qualify, broaden that by saying my own experience with practicing empathy. Because although I worked as an empathy trainer for 3 years in my previous job, um, I learned, or maybe intuitively grasped, that I would have to be vulnerable, and I should be as vulnerable as everybody in the classroom, or even more so. And so, in doing so, I just candidly admitted that I am not the empathy expert in this room. Everybody has their own experience with empathy, and that I'm learning too, and that I regard empathy as a practice of both vulnerability and I don't know, maybe just de-expertizing yourself. I don't know what it is.
And it's a lot to,
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, I go on long.
okay. So you like to speak up empathy experience yourself. You've been involved as an empathy facilitator in the classroom for 3 years. And you have to admit that even with that much of experience, you still feel as vulnerable as the group you involved with. And you are still exploring the process, trying to be understand the process and how to be more effective.
Thank you for dealing with my long expositions. So I I I I was hired to do empathy training. We call it empathic inquiry, and um, the sort of the goal of this training was to help people recognize that the people that they're connecting with are actually the experts in their lives, instead of the the person, instead of the so this was sort of a client and agent. Is it all the way up? So in the client agent relationship, um, the client is the expert in their own lives, not the agency.
So it seems like you're a little bit exhausted trying to employ empathy techniques or as a tool to handle your client. And you are still trying to explore the possibilities, how to engage empathy into your institutional work.
Thank you, Jesse, for listening to me. I appreciate your concentrating on what I was saying.
You have probably another chance to explain it a little more. And then there's going to be another round, Josh.
I'm not worried.
Jesse, would you like to pick a listener?
How about Edwin?
Okay, listening.
Okay. Yes, personally feel empathy circle itself has a lot of potential. And
Yeah, you're really seeing, oh, sorry. Yeah, the empathy circle has a lot of potential.
empathy circle, yes. And I am trying to find ways to incorporate empathy circle techniques in my life and in my work. And I'm still exploring, like Josh was saying, that how to sometimes feel a little bit disappointed when outside of the circle, people were not engaged.
You're looking at how to incorporate the empathy in your life, and you get kind of disappointed because outside of the empathy circle, people don't have sort of a empathic relationship.
Yes. So I've been thinking about my own experience with empathy circle, why it's so effective. And I've been contributed to the structure Edwin being developed. And I think empathy movement should start with effective structure to have invite people to experience it.
I'm sorry, I think a coughing fit.
It's okay.
Maybe Ingrid can
Would you like
reflect.
me to? Would you like? Yeah. So Jesse, you're disappointed that you can't, that you're not finding ways uh, to incorporate the empathy circle or even empathy in your everyday life. But that makes you realize that it is really the structure in the circle that is so effective, and that it's the structure that makes it work so well that we have in the circle.
Yes. So I haven't been involved into the empathy tent yet. I don't know how effective that is, but I really think to building the empathy circle in local chapters probably is a good way. And I haven't been involved too much online, although some people in Santa Barbara are saying that online circles are very good because they sometimes can talk to people around the world.
Yeah. So you have not been involved with the empathy tent, but it's something that interests you. It's a powerful tool to go to the community. And you have also heard some people from your Santa Barbara community that they go to the online circles, and they have shared that these online circles are a way to connect with the wider community, with the global community.
Yes.
So it sounds like you're thinking you might explore that.
Yes. So from my previous
Yeah, your time was up, but if you have a short thought, feel free
yes,
to share it.
sure. Thank you. From my previous experience in business, I just feel the way of adopting the way of reaching your target client is very important. In this way, we are trying to reach everybody. We don't have any target client, but at least the people who are interested into empathy is the one that we're trying to reach the first.
Yeah, and because of your business experience, you know it's very important to know who your target client is and to focus on reaching them.
Yeah, thank you. I feel hurt. Sorry about Edwin.
Edwin, are you
Yeah, sorry,
okay?
I had this coughing fit. You get that little tickle in your throat. Oh, can I speak to Dana? Would you be willing
Yeah.
to listen? Okay. I'll start. I had a tickle in my throat and it just got worse and worse and kind of went into a coughing fit. If you want to reflect that.
That you were coughing and
Yeah, it started with a little tickle, like, oh, there's a little tickle here, and just kind of got worse and worse. And yeah, I've had that happen sometimes.
yes.
Usually a little bit of whiskey is the best, but I just took a cough drop. So
You get that you get a tickle and you start coughing, and sometimes whiskey or some sort of something really strong will help.
mhm. Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about is like how do we finance the empathy movement. And Jesse, as someone who does impact investing, that we're going to be meeting, I think, next week. So I think that's another part of building a movement is how do we, finance the movement. So that's a big question for me.
So you're thinking of ideas of how to finance the movement, and you'll be talking to Jesse about that. You have some ideas.
She has an impact investor that wants to talk with us. So,
Oh, impact
um,
investors. Okay.
so what? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that means, but very curious. So it'd be nice to get, wealthy people and have some kind of an income generating process for financing it, especially if we could have financing for training, and then trainers could, have an income for holding empathy trainings. So anyway, there's something to think of. That's a lot of thought. I think a lot about that.
So thinking about, yeah, I'm not good at this.
Mm. You were excellent. Yeah, I hear you're feeling you're not good at it, but
Yeah,
I felt very heard actually.
I
So
appreciate that. I
I feel
appreciate
very
that.
heard. And yeah, so I just the finance part, I'm just kind of wondering about. That's kind of my main
Yeah, financing, finding wealthy people.
mm, and workshops, things like that, maybe. Yeah.
Yep,
So I
and
feel very heard.
workshops.
So
Yeah,
thank you, Dana. It's your
I
turn.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Dana, you're welcome to speak if you want to.
I would rather not.
Okay. Would you like us to listen to you silently? Take your time and we're just with you.
No, that's please carry on.
Okay.
Just,
We will do that. Thank you for being here, Dana.
mhm.
Who would like to speak next? Felicia.
I want to speak because I want to
Speak a
speak to
listener.
Dana. Can you hear me? Oh, a
Speak a
listener.
listener.
Ingrid.
Yes.
I want to speak because I understand Dana. I don't know if you noticed, but I have to take notes when people are talking, and it annoys people. But I have a auditory processing disorder, and it takes everything I have to write down. And I'm very anxious when people say, "Oh, can you listen to me?" I'm like, "Oh God, no." So it's really hard for me to do that particular part of
Mhm.
this empathy circle.
So you want us to know how difficult it is for you to listen and how you have to take notes because you can't really process that fast. And it's the moment when somebody says, "Will you listen to me?" It's always a bit scary to you. So you really feel Dana, you understand her.
Yeah, and usually when I speak, I say that the first thing I say, I have auditory processing disorder, so I'm going to take notes because sometimes people have not loved it. And I just wanted Dana to know that because it for me, I mean, I could talk to anybody. I talked to a wrong number, 5,000 people tonight, unprepared. But listening is it's scary for me, not because of the emotional piece, because I actually cognitively I'm not that good at it yet. So yeah.
Yeah. So you have sometimes experienced that people kind of don't like you taking notes and so you mentioned that when you are the listener and you so it's so easy for you to speak. You can speak just spontaneously to a few thousand people and doesn't bother you. But the listening is a challenge because it's a cognitive challenge for you. You actually cannot do it easily.
Exactly. And when I got my PhD, the professors would be like, "You're the best listener in class," because my whole body listened because it took everything I had to listen to them. And so I was like, it was all in like this. And this is hard. This is a harder environment for me to pull everything and see. There's no bodies here. It's just flat screens. So yeah, so it is also hard for me, Dana, to reflectively listen in the empathy circles.
Yeah, it is hard for you, even though your professor at the PhD program said to you, you are the very best listener. But you were such a good listener because you were just putting everything you had into the listening. And it is easier for you when it is in person than when you have only the screen. It's a real challenge for you. So you want to you want Dana to know how hard it is for you, even though we may not know that without you sharing it with us.
Yeah. Thanks, Ingrid. I feel completely heard.
You're welcome. Let's see. Josh, would you be my listener?
Yes.
I like the topic of trust. Because I am in a lot of empathy circles, I may forget how hard it is for people to share, and I like to be reminded of it.
You're citing the topic of trust because your regular participation in empathy circles may have dulled your sense of how difficult it is for people to sort of start their trust engine.
Hmm. That's right. And because I'm used to going into the circle and trusting the sense that the other person listens, I may not remember how many people out there would not trust that others, people they don't know, will actually listen to them in an empathic way.
I feel like you're talking about your sense of mindfulness here, Ingrid, and the necessity of reminding yourself to to be patient with other people over trust issues. Did I get that right? I sort of
Yeah,
paraphrased.
yeah, I'm aware of because I am in the empathy circles a lot, that can inside me lead to an assumption that others, an unconscious assumption that others will go to a circle with the same attitude that I do, but that is not so. They have not had the experience and it's harder for them.
So, yeah, your regular participation in empathy circles uh, tends to give you an unconscious assumption that other people uh, have the same level of empathic, I don't know, awareness,
And trust,
trust.
even in the word, even in the concept of empathy. It may not even be so that they are in an empathy circle, but just hearing empathy from a stranger may not connect in their thinking to, oh, this is a good thing. These people will listen to me. They don't associate empathy with being heard when it comes from a stranger.
So, you're aware that it may not, that people may not understand and connect with the concept of empathy, and they may not, they don't connect that with the sense of being heard, especially from a
Exactly.
stranger.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. I feel heard.
You're welcome. Um, should I go again?
Yes, please pick a listener.
Let's see. Edwin, would you listen to me?
Yep, listening.
Okay. I'm turning on my timer on my phone because last time I wasn't aware of the time.
Hmm.
I've done a lot of timed, I'll just call it empathy work. And so I'm aware of my own propensity to to take long sentences, and I understand that I went over last time, maybe even as much as a minute over, but I feel like when one participates, one should always get to complete a thought, even though the timer tells you another thing.
So I just reflect that you just turned on your timer because you thought that you went over before, and putting on the timer will keep you on track. And you've done other timed exercises before as well.
Yeah, I want to definitely go back and say it again, that I think that we need to have a tolerance around time, because not everybody manages time the same way. And I mean, I know for myself that I am given to long pauses. So sometimes it takes more than the allotted time to flesh out a thought.
Mhm. So you want to be a little more flexible around the amount of time people are given, because it takes some people a bit longer to kind of flesh out their thoughts.
That's right. I think that so you know, again, I sort of always extrapolate from my own self. I feel like that's a really positive thing to do. I have learned that if one person asks a question, probably another 10 people have the exact same one, but they're afraid to say it. And so this this informs my practice of empathy. Again, I want to emphasize my own practice of empathy, because as much as I've facilitated um, groups, I am always at the beginning. I have to begin again every time.
So this facilitates your work with empathy, because you've done a lot of different groups, but when you join a group, start a group, you're always feeling like a beginner.
That's right. Thank you, Anne, for hearing me.
Okay, then speak to Jesse. Yeah, just building on the what Josh is saying, that when the time is up, you can finish your thought and get a final reflection. So it's not like, hey, here's the time, you got to stop, dead stop, but you can kind of finish that thought in a sentence or two. You kind of try to wrap it up in a sentence or two.
Yes, to reflect Josh's comment about the timing. Usually, when the time is out and you haven't finished your thoughts, you have time to give a summary of your thoughts. You have time to process your thoughts and give a summary of your thoughts.
Mm. And the times are also to kind of give a sense of equality in terms of time, because there's some people will go on for half an hour if you don't have a time limit, and then everybody else is like, I want to speak too. How come that person gets all the time to speak? So it kind of moves towards a bit of a fairness in terms of attention and times, which is a good practice to, I think. Yeah.
But this time system is just to trying to allocate quality time for everybody, so it doesn't happen that one person can speak half hour long or forever, then other people feel like it's not relevant for them and need to also say something. So it's a system, it's a structure to be inclusive to everybody and have the time frame within the hour.
Mm-hmm. And also, I wanted to build on what you were saying. That when you have the empathy in the circle, because you're being heard and it's mutual, but then you go out into society, you don't have that mutuality. That's why we need the empathy movement, is to make it a cultural norm that everybody's kind of familiar with empathy and the whole empathic mindset. So you can go out anywhere, and the society is supporting sort of an empathic way of being.
So regarding my comments about trying to using empathy technique with the society, it doesn't work. You think that's why we need an empathy movement, so educated a society so everybody can understand what empathy is and then involved in practicing empathy circle in the society.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, yeah, and like right now we have the polarization here in the United States with the left and right, Democrats and Republicans. If they were having empathy circles, everybody getting a chance to speak and kind of coming up to solutions together, I think that would be much. That's part of the movement to bring them into an empathy movement. Yeah.
So right now, we have a polarized society, left and right, and people are like point finger to each other. If they would have empathy circle, that will make the society more harmonized, peaceful.
Yep, I feel heard.
Great. So can I go back to Edwin? How many, do we still have time to do that?
Yeah,
we have 15 minutes.
Oh, great. Okay. So I like to talk about how to approach, why we need investors in empathy circle.
Mm-hmm. So you want to talk about why we need investors in the empathy circle, for the empathy circle, or maybe the whole movement?
Yes. First of all, I haven't been involved in nonprofit, and I've been involved in another organization, sister city, Chinese sister city, Weihai in Santa Barbara. I'm the president, but we're not a nonprofit yet. From a person who has experience in for-profit business, I think the structure to legally and financially set for people who involved into this nonprofit or for-profit business is very important.
Mm-hmm. So you're kind of more in the business field. You haven't done nonprofit section part, but you just think the business setup is very important. The structure, financial structure is important.
And the legal structure.
Financial legal structure.
Yes, especially in California. Yes. And also, I've been involved in startups. Every investor has their own target investment goals. So we want to know what, first of all, we want to express why, we want to do empathy circle and how effective it is and what's our goal. And two, we want to listen to the investor, what's their goal, what they want to invest in.
Mm-hmm. So to do the investing, you need to hear from like the empathy center. What's our goal? What are we wanting to accomplish, as well as hearing from the investor. What are their interests and what do they want to invest in? You need to hear from both parties what they want.
Yes, because each investor have different target, different perspective, and we want to learn from them and see if we can incorporate their goal into our organizational goal.
Yeah, so I want to see if there's going to be all these different investors, and can we get their goal to match with our goals?
Incorporate, yeah. Second is we want to know how educatable the investor, because the investor has to be understand what the empathy circle means. And for me, with startup business is one of the ways, because of a startup. It's like empathy circle to me. It's like a startup idea and a spiritual movement. We want to educate the market, also educate the investors.
Mm-hmm. So, like the empathy movement or the empathy centers is like a business startup, and as a startup, you have to educate the investors and have sort of an educational process, and that was the time to Ingrid,
Okay, great. I feel heard, and I think that's what I want to share. Thank you.
Okay, I'll speak to Felicia. Yeah, I think all this talk about, the finances and all that is important to really grow a movement. I haven't been very good at generating income, but something we definitely need to, I mean, all these political movements, they have tons of money pouring into them, but, I don't see a lot of money coming into like the empathy work.
So, yeah, you're glad you're talking a lot about the money and and the empathy movement to grow the movement, because you don't feel that you've been very good at getting funding to grow the movement, and you think that's required. And you look around and you see all these political movements are like floods of money coming in, and it just pushes them forward.
And I'm just going to send a notice that we have 10 minutes to closing. So I just sent that notice to everybody. Hopefully everybody's got that just so they can prepare. So I'm glad, Jesse's interested in that and, get some advice and meet some of these impact investors and kind of start that process.
You're glad that Jesse's here and she's interested in that and is knowledgeable around that. And it would be really great to have some of these impact investors and get some of that process started.
And yeah, and I just thinking about educating investors, because we've done the empathy tent where we mediated between the political left and right. The people are hugging each other afterwards, and I put that information out there. It even was written up in Scientific America, which has 4 million subscribers. Actually came out in Chinese, Scientific America version, and but it didn't seem to really lead to anything. So I don't know. It's kind of like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Type situation. So yeah.
So you thinking about educating investors, you had that tent and it was amazing, mediating left and right. At the end, people with diametrically opposed opinions were hugging each other. You had the article, 4 million viewers in Scientific American. It was also in Chinese, but you didn't see visible evidence that it led to anything.
Yeah, so I don't know what it takes. Is it like a marriage? Like people don't go to conflict mediation until they're about ready to get a divorce. You know what I mean? So maybe that's the situation. It's so much easier, farther down the conflict level scale to, put in energy and time to kind of healing the relationship than if you wait until you're just ready to have a divorce. Yeah.
So you're like, what does it take? Is it like a marriage? People are waiting till it gets so bad, and we have to wait till we're on the precipice for the empathy circles to be taken up. Wait till we're on the abyss, because it's so much harder if you wait and wait and wait and you don't take care of it early and you're waiting, and then you're like, oh, maybe empathy circles is a solution to this.
I feel very heard. Thank you.
So Felicia, you have the last speaking turn.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Dana, do you want to listen to me maybe?
Yeah. Sure. I'll try it again, yeah.
Okay, good. I liked what Edwin was saying. I mean, are we just going to wait till the world's just corrupted and filled with hate, or could we kind of get this going a little earlier before we're facing a divorce?
You're wondering if it's like what Edwin said, where we have to come to a sort of a crisis moment to bring us all together to get to where we want.
Yeah, I mean, that's sad. I mean, and some of us probably think we're already at the 7th level of hell. And so it's way past the time for empathy movement.
Oh, you feel that we're kind of in a sad place. We're already in the 7th place of hell, and we've already passed the moment where we need an empathy movement.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that I love this idea of the money and maybe giving that a push, like those super PACs. Maybe that will be just the shot in the arm that this movement needs.
You're hoping that bringing in more money with super PACs, it will bring in the momentum that this movement needs.
Yeah, because I do think though that Edwin might not see the impact and might not see visible evidence of all the work that's being done in the empathy movement. It might be hard to measure.
You feel that Edwin might not see all the impact that it's already having.
Yeah, because it's a hard thing to measure.
Because it's a difficult area to measure, to give worth to.
Yeah. Thank you. I feel completely heard, Dana. High five.
Thank you for letting me try again.
That was wonderful.
Oh wait. Oh, now do you want to talk, Dana?
Oh, it's okay. We're wrapping up. We're close to the end, so
We do have 5 more minutes, so Dana, you would be so welcome to share.
if anybody else would prefer, I'd rather not.
Okay. Well, is there anyone who wants to say something? Who wants
We do a
another
debrief, a
Josh?
little debrief.
Josh, did you? I saw
Yeah,
you raise your hand.
I would be happy to.
Yeah.
I
Who would you like to be your listener, Josh?
well, how about Felicia? I don't think I've spoken to you yet.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
let's see. I think I'm going to start off with my appreciation to the organizers again, and I'm going to try to practice something of going a little bit more slowly.
Okay, so it sounds like you want to start off with sending out an appreciation to the organizers, and you're going to try a little new strategy where you're going to move a little more slowly.
Yeah, as I said, I always approach these types of things with a lot of vulnerability. That's comes across in my willingness to go first, which is a risk. My sometimes I approach topics peripherally or adjacently rather than directly, which is also another risk.
Okay, so you feel like you always approach these kinds of environments with vulnerability. That's evidenced by the fact that you will gladly go first, and also evidenced by the fact that you will approach topics more peripherally, which requires more risk.
Yeah, so again, I want to just highlight that I really believe that empathy is a practice. And as others have said, it's not always easy. I think, Jesse, you said it. It's not always easy to bring the empathy from the circle into the other spheres of life.
Okay, so you want to highlight your belief that empathy is a practice, and as others and Jesse said, it's not really always easy, and that sometimes it's hard to integrate some of the practices that you might be successful in a circle into everyday life with no structures, without the same structures.
Thank you. To go back to what Edwin said about marriage, I had a marriage that didn't end well. Part of the reason was I wanted to trade time. You take 3 minutes, I'll take 3 minutes. But that agreement could not be breached between us. So I would let her speak for 3 minutes and she would stop me in the middle after I hadn't said what I needed to say. Just to sort of, all I wanted to do was emphasize what Edwin had said, or someone about divorce.
I wanted to emphasize. You wanted to emphasize what Edwin had said, that you had a marriage that didn't maybe end well, because you wanted to have this agreement where, hey, I'll speak 3 minutes, then you speak 3 minutes, and we'll take turns. It'll be very amicable. But you felt like you would she would speak 3 minutes and then just interrupt you as you spoke your 3 minutes.
Okay, and Josh, unfortunately, the time is up and it's up for the whole circle now. I really appreciate your sharing so deeply
I
and
feel
your
heard.
vulnerability.
Okay, good.
So we do have 1 minute where everyone could just share one feeling they have as a result of being here together, and I'll start. I feel inspired. Edwin,
Grateful.
Jesse,
Uh, agreeable.
agreeable. Dana,
I would say inspired too. Yeah.
Felicia,
I feel lucky. Yeah.
and Josh.
I just had it and then it left my head. Curious.
Curious. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank
Be in a
you.
big room. We'll have a bit of a debrief there.
Thank you.
Again, hi everyone. I was like, oh, did everybody just get booted? No, we just coming back.
Everybody's on the way back.
So let's see here. Welcome back. Is everybody